Very possible. A lot changes in several decades. I used to be a woman. You like 5'7"? 5'9", 5'6".
You think I'm 5'9"? You're glad they went out of business? You just told us it was an integral part of your childhood.
I miss it. I miss it desperately.
Welcome back, everybody.
Oh my God, what a dynamite intro, Mrs. Lush. You guys, we got some stories here put together by the team of situations people posted to Reddit where they or someone they know was mistaken, possibly for an employee or someone at a store. Interesting nonetheless. This one's got 30,000 upvotes. Here we go. Hubby fired me from a job I don't work.
Excuse me?
Interesting. My husband is a manager at a local big name grocery store. We were down to one car at the time as the other clunker died and had not yet been replaced. I was waiting in the front of the store for my husband's shift to end when a crazy lady demanded I check her out. I had barely gotten out a sorry, I don't, when she stomped off to a manager to complain. I overhear her complaining to hubby, that lazy employee, pointing to me, refused to help me and she should be fired. Hubby walks over to me with a big grin on his face. That crazy lady couldn't see, winked at me, and fired me on the spot. He said very loudly, you'll never work here again. I played along, covered my face with my hands, and started fake sobbing, saying, my babies, how will I feed my babies? I would like to think the crazy lady felt horrible, but I peeked through my fingers as I ran to the back only to see her smug face. Later in the car, hubby said it was all he could do not to crack up. Fun little theater piece.
It is fun.
I don't like giving the lady the satisfaction
I know.
But still pretty funny.
Right, because you know she enjoyed it.
Weirdly, the second you do something to make someone a little bit upset, it's like they would be happy to see your life ruined in front of their eyes. Same thing with the internet. Collectively, people just love watching the downfall of people. Everyone trying to cancel everyone phase, looking up 15-year-old tweets, anything.
Treats or tweets?
Treats or tweets mostly. I fire my coworker routinely. He occasionally fires me as well. Unfortunately, neither of us actually get to go home. Oh, she thinks she won. Your husband created a monster. I mean, yeah. That's my fear too. It's like, I have all the power. You give someone
you know what? Look at that. Now I can behave this way and it worked.
You give a lady like that an inch and she's about to take the whole ass marathon until she comes back and see her working there again, maybe. That was the most insufferable part of the restaurant industry is the customer's always right mentality.
Yeah.
Especially working for a big chain like Cheesecake Factory. Eventually near the latter part of my stay, it's like I had some managers that would stick up pretty good to their employees.
It depends on who.
And it depends on how egregious the customer's being.
Yep.
But God, it'd be thrown in a wood chipper. And I met a lot of them in my days in the restaurant. Yeah, just get them in the wood chipper. Women tried to get me fired from a job I don't have. Started off as a semi-understandable mistake. I was with a friend dropping off her kids at daycare. I was carrying her youngest who kept calling me Miss J, as that's what she had been taught to call me. I handed her off to her daycare teacher and turned to walk out when a woman who had been behind me tried to hand me her kid. I just ignored her because I was half asleep and focused on other things, so she snapped her fingers at me and told me to hurry up and that she was late for work. It clicked that she thought I worked there. I told her, I don't work here, but I think she can help you, and pointed at people who did work there. This woman rolled her eyes and said, it takes 2 seconds to take my kid. I don't care if you're clocked in or not, do your damn job. I replied with, I don't work here, and turned to walk away. The lady then stomped off and I went outside to wait on my friend. My friend came out a few moments later laughing and said, you're fired. I asked what she was talking about and she said that after I walked out, the lady who had been trying to get me to take her kid saw my friend and told her that I was extremely unprofessional and refused to do my job. She then demanded my friend, who also doesn't work at daycare, fire me or else. God.
Oh no, they can't all be people getting what they want.
After thinking about it, I realized that my friend's child calling me Miss made it clear to anyone listening that I wasn't dropping off my kid. Between that and the fact that I was dressed very similar to most of the workers, I can understand thinking I work there until I said I don't. I don't know why she thought my friend in her pajama bottoms and oversized sweater worked there, though. I also don't get the entitlement of fire this person or else.
Entitlement is right.
Yeah, I don't get it either. So, I mean, I would just tell that lady to go suck a railroad spike, honestly. Fire her or else what? I mean, so many of the Karen videos I do, or even the body cams, it's always like, oh, what's your badge? I know you. I'm going to sue you. It's like all these people that have no leverage at all, still entitled enough to threaten that they're going to take your job or something. And it's the last gasping breath of a dying idiot. How do you see someone at a daycare that you have never seen before in your life and say, shut up and take my child? That takes a certain type of person. I mean, most of the stories we see on Reddit take a certain type of person that it's hard to believe they exist, but they're out there.
Right, and also the fact that you're willing to then hand your child to someone that you've never seen.
Yeah, true. If that was the mother of the child, it's like, oh, this person, yeah.
You know how it goes at like a daycare.
But that's not surprising to me.
Give them to someone you know.
A woman like that with that level of entitlement is clearly just so egocentric. She probably sees parenting as a chore. It's her own well-being over anything, so she would give her child to a stranger. if it meant she could have a few minutes. Crazy. I was written up for not seating someone at Chili's. Oh, you remember getting written up at work in the restaurant?
I remember writing people up when I was
be a write-up.
boss.
Oh, in nursing? Okay.
Oh, at a restaurant?
I was thinking restaurant.
Yeah.
That's the only where like getting written up was a thing.
I mean, you had to up pretty bad.
Yeah, you had to come in like strung out on meth or something pretty much to get written up. I worked at CompUSA in 1999. First of all, hold on.
Oh, here we go.
Super nostalgic.
Coming in hot.
Loved CompUSA. There was one on Route 1, and I used to go there. My father, this was back in like the Pentium 2, Pentium 3 era.
There he
and
is.
they would have desktop PCs set up with games on them that you could play. And I remember very specifically Daytona 500 or Daytona USA, I think it was called. It was an old school. It was like one of the first 3D racing games, and it probably looked like 32-bit pixels, polygons now, but I remember being 8 years old and thinking it was the best graphics I'd ever seen. I'll never forget that memory of my dad taking me to CompUSA. So anyways, I talk about how much I love computers.
So how you feel about that is how Jackson's going to feel about going to the Apple store and them being like, oh, here, you can play games on these.
Probably, yeah. Different beast now. The uniform matched Chili's at the time, khakis and a red polo, as the Chili's was directly across from our store. Many of us ate there at lunch. Honestly, there was definitely a Chili's there too. This might have been right down the street.
Oh, there was.
Yeah. So sitting at the bar area, running through my workday to the point I wind up with the store manager walking up to my table asking, what do I think I'm doing? Or what do you think you're doing? And a guy standing nearby with his arms crossed looking pissed. I looked at him and said, waiting for my burger? With a raised eyebrow pointing at my shirt. It's my manager name. I eat here 3 times per week. You know me and I don't work for you. The Chili's manager clicked in almost immediately and apologized, then explained to the customer that not everyone wearing a red shirt worked for him. Unfortunately, the offended restaurant patron went across the street and complained to my management that I was abusive. Despite the Chili's manager backing my story, my management wrote me up. There's a reason why CompUSA went out of business. Moronic management was definitely a part of it. And everything switching to online retail, but
yeah.
The rebuttal to that write-up is start seeing people at Chili's, then bill CompUSA for overtime. Nice. Was this in Santa Clara? I worked there and there was a Chili's next door.
Oh,
It's
that's funny.
Just
Detroit.
Well, there was one like that in the Boston area too.
Yeah, in the North Shore.
Apparently Chili's and CompUSA were just
They were besties.
same uniforms, always right next to each other. Imagine your store writing you up over a story they heard and didn't even know anything about. That's one of those things where like if you are actually good management, you would appease the customer by being like, oh, I'm so sorry that happened. Here's like a gift card or do something stupid. And then afterwards they'll be like, yeah, what happened? And be on your employee side. The fact that they wrote them up for that, pathetic. Glad they went out of business. Dumbass.
You're glad they went out of business? You just told us it was an integral part of your childhood.
I miss it. I miss it desperately.
Where else could you play a game like that?
No, this was still back in the day. You remember back in Walmarts and stuff when they had like PlayStations and like GameCube set up or Nintendo 60.
Still do at Target, hun.
You're right. For like
when the
Nintendo
Switch comes
Switches
out,
sometimes.
yeah.
I remember specifically Nintendo 64 when it launched having like 1 or 2 sample units out and having Mario 64 on there. Cranking Mario Kart sometimes
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah. The employee wanted my name to compliment me to our manager. This is a bit of an inversion than the usual, but a lighthearted and funny one. I was at my local grocer really early one morning. That's part of the story. It was in there in subtext. Not a lot of customers were there yet. I was minding my own business, trying to efficiently get my stuff and leave when I noticed a really short employee about my age on her tippy toes trying to reach some stuff from the very back of a high, for her, shelf. She had a big curbside cart next to her. As a tall woman, wonder what she means by tall in this case, we think 5'10".
Sure.
What's considered a tall woman?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's going to differ for everyone. I'd say like over 5'8". Yeah.
I would say like 6 feet and up is tall. 5'10",
That's really tall.
5'9" to 6 feet is like
5'9",
taller.
5'10" tall for
Okay. As a tall woman, I'm used to paying the tall person tax. Relatable myself here. So I offered to help. She told me how many of the things she needed. I handed them to her. She said thanks, and that was, or I thought that was it. As I turned to continue shopping, she said, wait, what's your name? Very confused, I answered her and then asked why. She said she was going to tell management how helpful I'd been. I just blinked at her, looked down at my very obviously not an employee uniform outfit, then back up at her. And the light dawned before I could think of a polite response, and she promptly apologized. We both laughed and agreed we needed more caffeine to continue about our days.
This stuff happens to me a lot at the grocery store. I mean, I shop and it's me and the little old ladies early in the morning.
And you get mistaken for an employee?
No, I don't get mistaken for an employee, but they always ask me to reach them things, and I'm not that tall, but I'm able to do it. It's either A, reach something, or B, read something, because the print's so little.
Oh, miss,
Can you tell me, does this say refined? I'm like,
does this say organic on the side? You're just out there with all the little old cute.
yes, and I'm not tall, but I can
Q-tips.
reach the top shelf.
You're like 5'7", 5'9", 5'6".
You think I'm 5'9"?
5'7", I said. I thought 5'6", 5'7".
Dude, stand up. You think I'm 5'9"?
I said 5'7", isn't that right?
No, nobody can see us.
I'm
We're cut off,
6'3",
aren't we?
so you're 5'6", like I said. So I said 5'7", and you thought I was a crazy guess? Come on. I knew you're somewhere in there. So you're like of average height, I guess?
I would say very average.
Average height,
in many ways.
not average width. Hey! Where it counts. Not average in many ways, hon. Not average. Give yourself some credit. I drove my dad to get some new shoes the other day, and I was browsing the shelves while he tried on a pair. I'm definitely not in the store's uniform. No name tag, nothing identifying me as an employee. But still, a man came up to me with a shoebox asking if there was another size in the back. These shoe stores, like, people always have a uniform on, too. You're like Foot Locker, they wear the things. Even at Target, like you...
At Target, they don't have shoe employees. Like
I was thinking Dick's, sorry. Dick's they do in the shoe section. But that's still a very distinct uniform. Anyways, I told him, sorry, I don't work here. And he just shook his head. You work here. I've seen you work here. What? Sir, I haven't been in this store in well over 7 years. I just moved back to the state 2 days ago. I promise you have not seen me. Guy did not care. He continued to insist I worked there until my dad and an actual employee came up when he was starting getting loud. He eventually figured it out and looked kind of embarrassed. He was an older guy, so he was probably just confused, and I'm not mad about it. The dad got his shoes, and we had a laugh about it on the way home. It's such a weird thing.
It is so weird to double down on it.
That's what I mean. To like, oops, I made a mistake when someone tells you they don't work there, and then to double down. Like, no.
Yeah.
No. You do work here, pal. I've seen you.
Last week, I was like waiting to go into a dressing room at Lululemon, and near the dressing room, they just have like this big countertop, and there was a girl standing there, and I'm like, isn't she acknowledging me? I'm just standing there, trying to be patient. And finally, I chimed in. I was like, go in one of these open rooms, and she's like, yeah, sure. I don't work here.
Yeah, do what you want.
Do you think I doubled down on it?
Sure.
No, I just went in the dressing room and I said, oops, sorry. But she was standing at the part of the counter that the employees normally would.
Sure.
So I really thought she worked there, and she was in athleisure like everyone that works there.
I think if I was this guy, if like he asked you if there's another size in the back and you're like, I don't work here. He's like, yeah, you do. I'd be like, you know what? You're right, I do. And I would have taken his shoes and walked and just put them somewhere else and walked out.
His own shoes that he walked in store with?
No, just he's handing you the box because he wants another size.
Oh, got it.
Or maybe he was just asking without handing him the shoes. I don't know. Anything I could do to with him. I would take my dad to get shoes also. He'd sit and get waited on while I wandered the aisles. My issue was the constant bombardment from other staff trying to help me. It was like talking to mom. Can I help you? No thanks. Are you sure? They'd walk away and try a couple of minutes later. I'd get tired of telling them no and finally let them know they had nothing in the store my size. I'm a bigger guy and wear a 14. Relatable. Mm-hmm. In the store, one had 2 or 3 size 13s, but nothing that fit. Yeah, super relatable. So I wear a 15. Same thing. I very rarely can go shopping in shoe stores for that reason. 13's kind of like the max. People be like, how do you find shoes? I'd be like, well, I walk into a shoe store and say, hey, do you have anything in size 15? And they go, I think we got like 1 or 2 pairs in the back. And they'd come out. They'd come out with like a 2003 Shaquille O'Neal edition and some other bullshit like generic New Balance or something. So I'd have super limited options. This was back in the day before shopping online became so popular. Parlaying into another funny story about that because of the shoe size. This was when I was like a teenager, when online shopping just started to come around, before like Amazon or any of that. Yep. I used to shop at a store called oddballshoes.com, and they specialized in big shoes. They only sold 13 and up.
I remember when I first met you.
I was still like shopping there probably.
Oh yeah, for a while. And then more brands got more size, it feels like.
Yeah, then Zappos came around.
You just kind of figured out which brands you could shop directly with it, knew would have your size, like particularly Nike.
Yeah, Nike's pretty good. That's why a lot of Nikes, even like their normal releases typically go up to 15. Yeah. But back in the day, finding anything over 13 was near impossible.
Oh man, but when you found like those really cool golf shoes, I was like, please. They were like the fancy brand golf shoes.
What, the G4s?
Yes, yeah. I was like, make them in 15s.
And they did. And they're the most comfortable golf shoes I've ever worn. I wear them every match now, every track. Speaking of sales, so this is a huge tangent, but shoe stores.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Back when like there were like shoe salesmen, like the Al Bundys, back when being a shoe salesman was like a legit like career or whatever. There was a place that I used to shop for shoes when I was a young kid, and it was the same thing. Like you walk in and like the like going to a car lot where like the salesmen are like trying to like make sure you're getting in his shoes, wear it, blah blah blah. And it was weird. Like I never liked going there because I just want to go and look at shoes and not talk to anybody.
Yes.
So not as much of that going on anymore. But shopping for shoes, man, what a trip it's been for a big-footed bastard like myself. Home Depot, I love Home Depot. This happened decades ago. Interesting to 20, 30 years later.
Let me post 1 month ago. Let me post about it on Reddit.
I just had this thought. I read this memory 30 years ago. Let me run to Reddit and post about it. I used to have long hair and a handlebar mustache. I was walking around Home Depot trying to find a solution to a home improvement project, and I was dressed in roughly the same colors as an employee. An orange apron.
That's what I mean. It's very specific orange apron.
What? Maybe decades ago. Maybe they didn't have the apron back then. Very possible. A lot changes in several decades. I used to be a woman.
Sorry.
Good. Glad you didn't hear that.
Oh, wasn't listening.
Good. Some lady with a really bad attitude walked up to me and rudely asked me where something was. I seized the opportunity and said, "Screw you, lady, I'm on break." I then went directly to the cashier and left. Fast forward to 4 hours later when I walked into a local bar where I hear a guy talking about his day at work. He's talking about how some lady got really upset because one of the employees with a handlebar mustache was rude to her. He tried explaining that no one on staff had one of those. It got to the point where he had to bring out all of the employees and line them up to show her that no one fit the description. That is the moment when he looked across the bar and saw me looking and laughing at his story like the rest of his patrons at the bar. He saw me and said, "It was you, wasn't it?" To which I replied that it was, and he said that it was the funniest thing he had ever told a story about. We all had a good laugh. Put that under things that didn't happen. Maybe it did. Imagine just 3 decades later
You're
being
absolutely
like,
correct. There's no chance that ever happened.
That's
Did
like,
you just downvote it?
I think I upvoted it by accident.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
downvoted
silly.
it instead. That's like a classic, like, there was a meme going on for years where like mothers telling stories about their kids and like, blah, 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 they did this, and then everyone laughed. And it's like all these, yeah, I'm sure that happened, pal. Yeah, all these Facebook posts from mom, like, my daughter said this and it was so profound. And then I was, oh, hoo-hoo. And it's like, okay, it's sad enough to post dumb on the internet, but there's nothing sadder than making up and posting it on the internet for likes. Literally the lowest form of human filth. Well, there's worse, I guess, but.
There is. Lady at McDonald's asked me to clean up her trash. I was eating my cheeseburger. When I was done, I wanted to return the tray to the collecting station. I was wearing black pants and a gray turtleneck sweater. Random lady one table over sees me, starts waving at me, lifting her tray and said something like, "Oh, mister, here you go." Well, but I'm not working here. She seemed perplexed and said that because I was taking the tray to the collecting station, she thought I was an employee. I asked her very sarcastically, since when do McDonald's employees wear turtleneck sweaters, and that she's probably an ass of a customer if she assumes everyone returning their tray by themselves is an employee. The stupidity and audacity of some knows no bonds.
There's no bounds? Yeah,
bonds.
typo
Oops.
on their part, yeah.
And of course, I wasn't as quick as you. I could change in real time.
That's what I like
read
to
it
do.
for what it was.
Paraphrase in my brain.
You did that in the last one, I noticed.
Did
I was
you?
reading along with you.
Yes, sirree. The stupidity and audacity of some knows no bounds. That is, I will agree with. The story, mid.
Not compelling. You didn't need to type that all out.
Yeah, no, like you didn't need to. I mean, it's still got 8,000 upvotes.
How?
People are like, hell yeah, this story's lit, dude.
How?
Everyone commenting on it. I no longer wear my keys around my neck with a lanyard. Old people seem to think that means I work wherever I am.
That's pretty, yeah, I could see that.
Certainly. Lanyard keys, you'd look like an
You
employee.
look like
Sorry.
an employer or manager.
If you're not at work and you're wearing your keys around your neck on a lanyard, you're just a weirdo. Sorry.
Your cell phone around your neck. Lanyard so you don't lose it.
Oh, a little soft dig at my mom. Just let's go. I think she gave that up, but she dead ass had a cell phone.
Both of them.
A cell phone lanyard. I think it was like they probably got like a 2-for-1 on Amazon or something. God
They
bless
tried
them.
so hard.
God bless them.
Because then you misplace the phone everywhere you put it, so you just wear it
That's
around
why
your
you
neck.
need to get the watch where you can ping the phone.
That's the best thing
The
about
best
the watch.
part about the Apple Watch. This happened about 20 years ago. I was a flight attendant with a major airline whose uniforms were a navy blue business suit. I was flying in my uniform on another airline where the uniforms were a casual khaki outfit. Most airlines have agreements where the employees can fly standby for free on each other. I was grateful to get a seat at the aisle. After takeoff, I was about to fall asleep when a person across the aisle poked me. He said, "Aren't you supposed to get up and get me a drink?" I replied, imagine that's your lead in to someone if they really were a flight attendant. I replied, I didn't work for the airline, and 2, if I was working the flight, I would be sitting in a jump seat, not a passenger seat. He tried to get my name from the working crew so he could complain to the airline. Excuse me, aren't you supposed to be getting up and getting me a drink now? Use me, pal.
Well, I'm glad in this case didn't get any satisfaction.
Yes, accused of trying to trick people at a Target. I'm a flight attendant. Genre, I stopped by Target after getting in from a red-eye flight in full uni. It was Navy. I had on my ID badge, scarf, tights, sweater. Typical flight attendant garb. I'd left LA the previous night at 11 p.m. and landed in NYC around 8 in the morning. All I wanted was to sleep, but I needed something to eat for dinner because I knew that my fridge was empty and I'd be going to sleep as soon as I made it home. Customer stopped me while I was speed walking through the store, and the interaction went like this. Customer says, "Hey, I need help in electronics. I don't work here." "Do not lie to me." "I'm not lying. I don't work here." He's yelling now. "You're wearing a f***ing uniform. Of course you work here." I look down at my outfit and then up at him. "Does this look like a Target uniform? I'm a flight attendant." "You should know better than to come shopping in a uniform. What are you trying to trick people?" "I'm wearing blue, they wear red. No one with any sense would be confused." Then I walked away, irritated and confused. That's almost so preposterous that I'm forced to believe it. Because, you know what I mean?
Like you're in a uniform, so...
Well, how dare you shop in a uniform where you try to trick people? Some people are just, that must have been just like one of those weird old hoarder people that's detached from reality, a little bit psychotic. They live among us. Yep. Maybe they thought you were trying to trick people into thinking they were in a flying target. Smart. This made me cackle. Me too. What does a cackle sound like?
Like an over the top.
Remember the laughing videos we've done in the past?
Yeah.
That was a good one. Well, if it makes you feel any better, that stranger is always irritated and confused.
That is the most accurate point.
Good way of looking at it. Yeah. It may be annoying to you, but just imagine their whole life is an episode of being irritated and confused and annoying, and probably have no one in their life that actually loves them. So you had to experience it for 10 minutes. They live with it. And on that note, here's a story. I once got mistaken as my wife's colleague in this chair right here by her.
Don't fire me.
That makes no sense. Yeah, we can predict.
If anyone's getting fired, it's you.
You're fired.
That comes out of your mouth.
Actually, yeah, you're right. And I don't think this channel would do very well without you on. Kind of built it up. I carried the weight to begin 6 or 7 years ago. It's been that long now. Holy
I don't think about that.
Yeah.
I'm not ready for that.
And now I'm just kind of like one of the wheels on the wheelbarrow, and you're rolling that whole up the hill. But really, the main driving force of the channel is those of you at home that come back week to week and watch us be absolute morons on camera for a few minutes a week. And we appreciate you endlessly. Blow them a kiss, son, because that's gay for me to do. Thank you. Bye. We'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.